want to welcome to the program right now from Rick's Firearm Academy of Detroit. Our friend Mr. Rick Ector is with us on the program. Rick, how are you, sir?
Hey, man, Cam, I am great, man. Glad to hear from you. Hope everything is going well with you. You know, I've been following your posts on Facebook, man, and just to let you know personally, you know, you have all of my prayers, brother.
I appreciate that, my friend. And you know what? Things are going pretty well. Glad that we could have you on the program today, and I hope things are going good for you there up in Detroit. Although I don't know, Rick, I mean, you're not a law enforcement agent, but you are a firearms instructor. Do you think you'd be allowed to eat at this vegan food truck?
Man, you know, I got a lot of angst over that post, you know. Yeah, law enforcement, you know, in some ways, you know, I'm not an officer, but I can imagine it could be, you know, a very demanding job. Your life is literally on the line every time you suit up and put on your uniform and go to work. By all means, this one woman does not speak for everyone here in the city of Detroit. I truly appreciate what they do for us every day. And, you know, there's a lot of people who are not as proactive as we are that take on a more active role in their personal protection, but are there when, you know, we call for assistance. Maybe sometimes they don't get there as fast as we would like them to be, but you know what? They are our warriors, man, all across the country. And it's really sad that some woman has, you know, some negative perspective about law enforcement and what they do. It's really sad to see.
Absolutely. You know, and it's interesting because WXYZ in Detroit noted that this vegan food truck, the owner there, this sort of came to the public's attention because there was actually a Humane Society officer, guy whose job is to, you know, help animals, Rick, and he was told to leave because he looked like law enforcement. He said, I'm not. I don't care. You got to go. And that's how this sort of came to everybody's attention. So there's the ironic aspect of, you know, an animal lover turning away someone who helps animals. But, you know, more specifically, when it comes to those cops, look, even if this lady, what she said is, quote, on this corner, I encounter all types, and the only type that's ever purposely intimidated me is Detroit Police Department. The majority of my neighbors, customers, and myself do not feel safe around law enforcement agents like ICE, DPD, Homeland Security, etc.
Well, she definitely doesn't speak for me, and the people that I'm in regular contact with, I'm very confident that she doesn't speak for them either. I'm not sure what her act is that she's grinding, but I truly appreciate the men and women in blue who literally go to work every day to keep us safe. You know, even though I'm a firearms instructor and I stress, you know, taking on a more active role in your personal protection, you know, I'm cognizant of the fact that there's some people who just will not, and that's their right. You know, we don't want to force people to do something they don't want to do, but if carrying a gun and owning a gun is not for you, I'm glad that we have at least some resource there to help those people.
Absolutely. And, you know, Chief James Craig, who we've had on this program several times before, told the Detroit News, and he said, you know, generally speaking, we have good relations in that neighborhood. He said, but my officers tell me whenever they've been in that area investigating criminal matters, she's been uncooperative and rude. You know, this is something, Rick, that I don't think was really brought up in the, certainly in the WXYZ story, and that is, look, if you're concerned about crime in your neighborhood, and you're not talking to police, you're not cooperating, you see them as the issue, crime's not going to get any better, Rick. You know, I wish that this woman would actually have an open mind and an open heart, and maybe talk to those officers who would, you know, give her their money and, you know, buy her food from a food truck. Have that conversation with them. You know, she might find out that actually, you know, these men and women could be her best friends in terms of keeping her safe in that neighborhood.
I concur 100%. You know, I will say that by and large, the vast, overwhelming majority of law enforcement officers are great, upstanding citizens that help keep us safe, man. But there are some people that have an axe to grind against law enforcement for whatever reason. And, you know, we can't let this one person, you know, unfairly color the vast majority of police officers, man. It's unfair. It's not true. And the thing that the story really underscored and brought attention to is if they're there and they're answering the call to assist you, to help you out, you at least should be cooperative. And that's the other piece to this thing. There's this, they call it the no snitch culture, where, you don't want to cooperate with law enforcement to help them do their job, which is to help keep our community safe, man. And I really don't get it. I don't understand it. This story has gotten a lot of traction and has gone viral. And I hope that this one person's viewpoint and their interactions with law enforcement don't unfairly color the rest of us as being uncooperative and unappreciative of our police officers.
Absolutely. Again, Rick Ector from Rick's Firearm Academy of Detroit. Generally speaking, Rick, outside of this one a news story, how do you think relations are between the various communities, various neighborhoods there in Detroit and Detroit police?
Under James Craig's leadership, man, in terms of citizens and the police, I have not seen or heard of any pertinent issues. It seems like Chief Craig has been proactive in terms of keeping the line of communications open. And when there have been, some issues, he has shown that he's willing to step up and make decisions and right the ship. So very happy with Chief Craig and with his leadership and what his department is doing. Very happy when I see the men and women in blue out there doing their job, putting their life on the line every day. For those people who choose not to take on a more active role in personal protection, their role is even more critical. And I realize that carrying a gun is not, it's something that's going to guarantee my safety, but it's something that's going to help and enhance it. And I'm glad that we have men and women out there that serve as second responders, because I believe everyone is their first responder.
Amen to that. I know you've got a lot of folks up there in Detroit to feel that very same way. You still getting a lot of interest from folks who are inquiring about getting their concealed carry license?
Most definitely, man, for sure. And, the thing is, there's a little lull in the action, right towards the end of summer, all the great things to do, all the fairs and things to participate in, and we're finally getting the kids back off to school, and that's the motivation that's going to get more people to taking on a more active role in their protection to the front burner, and anxiously awaiting to take care of them and to accommodate them, man, and just doing this, man, it's a joy to help empower fellow citizens, man. I really get a charge out of it.
Well, listen, man, we appreciate everything that you do there, Rick. Thank you so much for coming on the program. It's always a pleasure talking with you, and I hope we get a chance to do this again soon.
Yeah, I hope we do too, man. But still, I want to keep putting that bug in your ear, man, because I know one time we talked before, when I do that ladies event, we had 700 women get a free shooting lesson. I might even be so bold as to look at 1,000. But I haven't set a number yet, man. But it would be so great if I could get you guys to broadcast live from the event. I'm just going to put that out there again. And I'm going to keep teasing you and hope you can somehow make that happen.
All right, listen, I'm not going to ding you. You keep bringing it up every time we have you on the program. I can't commit to anything yet, but you give me a date, and we'll start looking at it, okay?
I'll get that to you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Rick
All right,
Ector
buddy. Take
from Rick's
care.
Firearm Academy of Detroit.